What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Culture Decides. I'm your host, Lee, and you know I'm back with another one for y'all. I've been waiting to chat to y'all. I had some exciting things I needed to recap, so I was like, hold on. Let me hold on so I can really let y'all know like all of the exciting things that I feel like was important to share with you all. So I hope y'all are doing well. I hope May is treating you great. We almost fully into the summer months. It's feeling nice, getting a little too hot for me, but you know what I'm saying? We could chill in the 80s. You know, right now my Knicks potentially might pack away Boston. Sorry for any of y'all that might be a Boston Celtics fan. You know, some of y'all I know some of y'all might be up in the wazoo, you know what I'm saying? No offense, but yeah, next just might pack them up tonight. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, I have the game on my phone to the right of me, like the score and everything, and then I'm trying to record to y'all because I'm like, fuck it, I gotta get to y'all first. Game, I'll find out about it because sometimes when you put too much into your favorite teams, they fucking disappoint you, and I could say that about a lot of New York teams. But whatever, I digress. To get into the reason why y'all here, for this episode, of course, I always got to give y'all the agenda, right? Before I get into that, make sure you follow the Culture Decides on Instagram, subscribe and like this episode on YouTube. And of course, if you're listening on audio, download this episode and keep following the show so you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest. Now, of course, for this one, like I said, I wanted to save this to talk to you about some exciting things, right? So for the agenda, I'm gonna recap a little bit of the Met Gala. I'm gonna do my news recap towards the end of this month episode. I do have a few things that I've been actually writing down in my notes that I want to recap with y'all. But as far as like the main news, it's gonna really be some highlights and lowlights, really, of the Met Gala. And then, y'all, I told y'all I was gonna eventually get to that tour, the Grand National Tour. Okay, I did attend the tour stop in New York, New Jersey, night one. It was lit, and I'm gonna get into that, of course. And then I have some reviews across dancehall, hip hop, and R&B. So I will get into a new album from Ding Dong. If you don't know him, I know the name sounds funny for the Yankees, them, but it's a Caribbean artist that he is considered an OG at this point, but he popped back out into the scene and dropped a new project. Then Coco Jones dropped her debut album, so I gotta talk about that. Why not more? And then last but not least, Lefty Gunplay. He was featured on Kendrick's Grand National Tour album, GNX album, I should say. And he decided to capitalize off that moment and drop something shortly after. So I will be reviewing that as well. Um, Now to just hop right into the thick of it, you know what I'm saying? So before I hop into some of the highlights and some of the looks I guess I really liked from the Met Gala, I do want to just remind y'all about the music submission form. If you are an artist or a creator in any sense, as far as making music, whether you make the beats or you write and or you rap, whatever the case is, sing, submit via the link in the description of this episode. I actually will be reviewing one of the submissions that I got recently on the next episode. So looking forward to that. So don't miss your chance to be included in that episode if you're listening and you make music, all right? Now, to get into the fun stuff. The Met Gala is an event that a lot of the fashionistas look forward to every year. And I, do watch to see like what certain celebrities are going to pop out in, whether they're, a rapper, actress, whatever the case is, actor. But yeah, this year I really paid attention because of the theme. This year in particular was very important because it highlighted Black fashion, Black dandyism. So the exact theme for this year was called Super Fine Tailoring Black Style, aka Black Dandyism, and the theme was inspired by the museum. It's an exhibition there that is actually around this theme, Black dandyism, and it goes through the history and the influence of Black dandyism and just like how the fashion, how fashion has evolved, within the Black community. So within that, if you're still like, hey, what exactly does that mean? So it's all about, being tailored for you, having those tailored fitted suits, you know what I'm saying? It don't look like it's your granddaddy's suit. It look like it belongs to you. When you think of Black dandyism, think of Dapper Dan, think of like the freshest uncle that shows up in suits to any fucking event. You know what I'm saying? Like for those of you that might be from like New Jersey or Jersey City, think of like the Jersey City pimp that be walking around like apparently he be in New York too. I mean, not apparently. I've actually seen him on the train going to the city. So yeah, he be everywhere. Harlem, fucking Jersey City, wherever. Think of like freshest motherfucker. You think of Cat Williams when he's dressed up as a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Like for those of you that don't know that reference right there, but you know what I'm saying? Just think sharp, fly motherfucker with a suit on, a 3-piece suit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna hop into some of my highlight looks, some of the highlight looks of the night. Now, the first one I did want to talk about, Doechii popped out, of course. She was rocking Louis Vuitton. And actually, I feel like building up to the Met Gala, she was actually like teasing different fits and just, popping out with like Louis Vuitton and different brands and not like her typical, like, I feel like she was really just giving it her all these last few weeks in Paris and all those different looks just leading up to this. I was like, okay, Doechii really dressing, huh? Okay, okay, I see you, girl. But for the Met Gala specifically, she popped out with the Louis V monogram look. She had on actually shorts, like pantsuit shorts to match the blazer, and she was rocking a fro. She did have a Louis V branding on her cheek. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. At first, I was like, yo, this look is really fire. But then I saw this woke TikTok video. And I'm gonna call it woke because that's exactly what it was. It's like, while y'all eating this up, here's some tea that y'all should know. This guy on TikTok, Gerard Jenkins, he was actually calling out that if you actually go on Louis Vuitton's website, you will see a pattern with how they tend to dress different demos, different models, and depending on the demo, they have a certain look. So for example, if you go on Louis Vuitton and look at like different monogram looks, most of the time those monogram fits Black person is wearing. But if you're looking at like the clean cut clothing, minimal labeling, it's like a non-Black person. It's usually like a white person, which I mean, he did show a few examples in that video, and I was like, oh shit. And then he was also like, why did y'all have to brand her? Obviously, she consented to that. I mean, I hope she didn't get forced into that, obviously. But, you know, like I said, at first I was eating it up. I was like, that shit was fire. But then once I saw that video, I kind of started thinking, I'm like, oh fuck. When you start thinking about shit, you gotta reel yourself out of it sometimes. But despite the controversy and I with the controversy being noted, I just wanna, you know, look out for things in the future when it comes from Louis Vuitton. But outside of that, I did think the look, outside of the branding and whatever, it was a good look. Now, if that is what they're doing, then guess what? I won't be celebrating that. I won't be, I'm gonna support what's right. Now, outside of that, there was some controversy with Doechii and this umbrella. Now, while she was preparing to come out on the carpet or getting ready to go to the carpet, usually celebrities are trying to like hide their looks until they get to the event because paparazzis are like swarming their hotel and trying to see, yo, what the fuck they finna wear? And then, they're gonna drop that shit so fast before you even get to the fucking event. Niggas already see your look, right? So they usually try to be low key and just have like a grand entrance for the Met Gala, right? So while Doechii was preparing, standing outside, she had like this like I want to say like this covering that was hiding her, but it wasn't enough. And she was like, "Hey, I need more umbrellas, and where are the fucking umbrellas?" And another one. Another umbrella. Excuse me. People are like saying like, oh, why is she talking to her team like that? And she did like apologize after. Obviously like heat of the moment, just probably panicking and anxiety hit her for the event, and not saying it was right. She apologized, and I hope she apologized to the team directly, of course. But I feel like people have been looking for a reason to hate Doechii, because a lot of people online, I would say, try to call her like a fucking plant, an industry plant, say that she don't got no talent and all this nonsense. So it's unfortunate when the moments like these happen, because those people grab onto it and say, "Oh, look, this is why this person shouldn't be as successful as they are." Right? It's like bullshit. She took accountability. I feel like that's important, and some people feel like it's not that deep. Some people do. Who knows? As long as the team comes out and feels like, hey, we good, that was good enough for them, then that was good enough for them, I guess. But whatever. We'll move on to the next looker for the night. Janelle Monáe. She was rocking Tom Brown, and she had on this red, black, and white overcoat, and the overcoat had like an outline of a bag on it, and it was like this boxy overcoat, right? So at first you're like, okay, Janelle Monáe always pops out with looks. She always been dressing like this, so it was only right that she was invited to this event. I'll tell you that much. But she actually had them pull off the overcoat, and when she dropped the overcoat, the outline of the bag, it was the real bag that she was holding once the overcoat dropped, and she had on this tailored suit that pretty much matched the elements of the overcoat with the red, white and black. And then she had this really cool monocule, which is like a one eyeglasses with one side. Not to over explain it, you know what I'm talking about, right? Now that it was actually like a timepiece, like in the shape of a clock. So like imagine like a glasses over one eye, right? And it's like half clock, half like optical illusion. It was pretty fucking cool. And then she also had a brooch that was fully diamond encrusted, and it was an 1800 tequila bottle. So I feel like that was playing, that was pretty fire. Like she always gonna eat, you know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing bad to say about that look. Now move on to an actor, Damson Idris, Franklin. Franklin popped out. But anyway, Damson popped out. He pulled up in an F1 car to the event in a race suit to like help promote the F1 races and everything. And I feel like that wasn't talked about enough. Like he really pulled up in a fucking race car, F1 car, and then when he got out the car, his look transformed. He literally transitioned his fit from a race car fit with, first of all, on the helmet, I should mention, on the race car helmet, he had fucking 20,000 hand placed crystals on there. Like that's insane. And then once they pulled off the race car tracksuit, he was rocking a Tommy Hilfiger suit, and this Tommy Hilfiger suit, it was like pretty much like tailored for you. Like I feel like another great look of the night, right? And then we get into musical legend Diana Ross. Diana Ross actually hasn't been to the Met Gala in 22 years. The last time she was there was in 2003. I was like toddler, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was definitely young, but she popped out, and she definitely graced us with her presence, her looks. She literally had an 18-foot train, and within the dress she had all the names of her children and grandchildren embroidered on it. This look was actually designed by a Nigerian fashion designer, Ugo Mazi, for his luxury brand. It's called 1116. So shout out to Ugo and 1116, because that dress was absolutely beautiful, and the fact that she like added all of her legacy within that dress, I can't hate. It's Diana Ross. How can you? Now, to move on to a few more, I have three more. Rihanna and Rocky going together. So yeah, three more for y'all. So Rihanna, she popped out and made a surprise announcement during the night. She actually was rocking a baby bump, and it was officially confirmed she was pregnant. Remember, she showed up to her Fenty event in Barbados, and people were like, "Damn, girl, you're not showing no skin in the Caribbean. You got on this flowy dress." Well, yeah, she was pregnant then, and she's pregnant now. They definitely just trying to make that family. You know what I'm saying? Trying to Caribbean people don't have big families, I guess. But anyway, she pulled up in a Marc Jacobs look. She had like this crop blazer, like a shirt, button up shirt with a wide brim hat, and then she also had like a necktie as well. Um, Also fitting to the theme, suits fitted on you, tailored for you. You know what I'm saying? And then ASAP Rocky, he pulled up in his own brand, so he has this new thing called AWGE, which when he was in court, and they were pressing one of the people on the Rockies team, asking him like, "Yo, what does AWGE stand for?" He was like, "Don't tell." He yelled that out in court, so it's a secret. Whatever. The point is that he popped out in a suit made by himself. And what was the highlight of the fit was the umbrella. He had a diamond encrusted handle on the umbrella that was shaped like a revolver, and people were like, "Damn!" Right after the gun case, I guess because you beat the case, you're like, "Fuck it, I gotta flaunt a little bit." That was the highlight of the fit. As far as the suit itself, it wasn't doing it for me. Now, Rocky in the last few months has been popping out in suits, and he's actually spoke about like how that's his look now, like his dad look. And I feel like the suits that I've seen him pop out in the last few months have been better than this look. I feel like the accessory like carried the fit, but that's my opinion. Now, another one that I want to get into, Andre 3000, he popped up with a piano on his back, a trash bag, and that same night he dropped an EP called Seven Piano Sketches. So I guess this whole look was a promo for the EP. Literally, like minutes it dropped. But his look was designed. It was actually a collaboration between him and Burberry. So he had a brand called Benjamin Bixby that he's now reviving. It's going to be called Benji Bixby, and he worked with Burberry on creating this whole look. I don't know what the trash bag was about, but knowing him, he always has hidden meanings to things. I haven't checked out the EP as of yet, but I will be. I did see a couple snippets here. Curtis King had reviewed it. Um he made like his own sample to one of the beats on the EP, and it seems as though the intent of this EP was for people to go and use it to sample and like kind of just share their art too, from what I gathered so far. So pretty cool that he did that. Now, last but not least, my favorite look of the night, Tiana Taylor popped out, did it for Harlem. Only right, she popped out looking fresh as hell. Tiana Taylor been dressing all her life. I don't know if y'all not familiar with her game. Just type in on Google Tiana Taylor outfits. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna see whether you want swaggy, bummy weather day, she got that. If you want the sharp fits, she got that. If you want the femme fits, she got that. If you want shit, she look like she be rocking it all. You know what I'm saying? Like she has looks for everybody in her closet, and I really love how she popped out to the Met Gala. Like, honestly, she had the crispest do-rag I've ever seen. I mentioned it on Instagram. Y'all probably seen it already, but I had to talk about it again. And the look was by Marc Jacobs, and it was made in collaboration with Ruth E. Carter. And honestly, she deserves the crown for that. Apparently, Zendaya got number one for the night. Not mad at it, but I feel like if somebody else pops up with a similar look, sorry, La Roche, I know you be going hard. He's one of the designers that designed Zendaya and many other looks of the night. Somebody else pops up in your look, you can't win number one. I'm sorry. Obviously, you didn't intend for that to happen, but I feel like Tiana Taylor deserved it. She had a cape with a train on it too, and had like Harlem Rose and embroidered in it. Come on, let's go. Now, to get into the fun stuff, to get into the, let me stop saying that. Everything been good, right? Now, to get into what is really going to be the highlight of the episode, at least for me, I've been waiting to talk to y'all about this grand national tour. I've been trying to avoid the clips online leading up to the event, but of course, it's unavoidable because Kendrick and SZA has been making big noise. You know what I'm saying? So I literally was just like seeing the clips and like, fuck, I can't wait. And at first, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I got my tickets like a month ago, I want to say. So at first, I was just like right after it started, people been got they shit on pre-sale. I didn't take advantage of that, but I got my tickets, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I got limited view seats according to Ticketmaster. The view that y'all saw on Instagram was limited fucking view, which is crazy. And I got it for the low. I was not mad at it. Like, there were freaking seats in the nosebleeds that cost more than the fucking floor seats. I'm giving y'all free game. Buy them fucking limited view tickets, all right? You know what I'm saying? At least for MetLife. I don't know about y'all other stadiums, wherever y'all at. You know what I'm saying? Talking about MetLife Stadium. Limited view is not bad, all right? But yeah, as far as like the Grand National Tour, I honestly, guys, that was literally the best fucking concert I've been to. I've seen so many different artists. I've seen Drake, I've seen Amigos, I've seen fucking artists at Rolling Loud, I've seen Travis, floor seats, or GA floor, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no seats for a Travis concert, but you know what I'm saying? I seen Travis, I seen Uzi, I seen Thug, you know what I'm saying? Damn, I seen Summer Walker. So many people to the list, but I never got to see Kendrick or SZA. And I wanted to see SZA on the SOS tour. I didn't, and I'm glad I waited to see them together in this moment. Imagine seeing two of your favorite artists. You got rap and R&B, and they can both merge together and make beautiful songs together. So let me just recap from, I guess, that day. I was super fucking excited. The concert started at 7. Now, first of all, this was a gift from my girlfriend. I ain't ashamed to say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed to, but I was really excited to take her because she's also a fan of both. So, who else nobody better to go with but her. But anyways, so it was really exciting. Like, I am glad to say we both had a great time. But anyways, we pulled up around 5:15. Concert started at 7, and y'all, as we're in the parking lot, getting ready for concert, you got pregame. You know what I'm saying? Doing a little sunshine, doing a little sunshine, you know what I'm saying? As we're chilling in the parking lot, there's the world's biggest cloud about to engulf the fucking MetLife Stadium area, the whole of New Jersey, if you ask me. And I know all week I was seeing rain on the forecast, but I was like, universe, please, please, if rain, not too much, do it before the concert. I was just asking for whatever we could get without being drenched that night. But we did prepare. We brought ponchos. So for any of y'all going to the tour or going to any concert during this spring season, make sure you have a poncho with you. It's needed. All right. So whatever, we had our ponchos, we was prepared. So we got in like roughly an hour before the concert began, and went to grab some food and everything like that. And like, as we're getting more comfy, the cloud is getting closer, and as soon as 7 hit, bro, tell me why DJ Mustard literally walks by us. Like, we're in section 1. Section 1 is like, to, I guess, if you're facing the stage head on with, section 1 is like all the way to the far right of the stage. If you're like Kendrick facing the audience, far left. You know what I'm saying? We were on his left. But whatever. So we're all the way in the corner, but like I said, limited view, saw everything. And there's like a walkway that comes from backstage, and that walkway DJ Mustard uses to walk by fucking section 1, and he goes under the this bridge that Kendrick and SZA uses later on in the concert to walk over to pass by the energy room, which is the general admissions floor seats where they was going crazy in there. We had seats, you know what I'm saying? I used to do that. I used to be moshing and all that shit, but I was like, hold on, birthday girl needs some seats. We ain't gonna be doing all that. We gonna be turning up, we gonna be jumping and everything, but I don't feel like moshing with nobody, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of little kids, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Ain't doing none of that, whatever the case is. Whatever. The point is, DJ Mustard takes that route to walk by us, and that's when he goes to take the stage. They had a tent for him, which was cool to cover, the equipment and everything. But he was literally right there, and I'm like, damn, Mustard kicked it off. Listen, he kicked it off. He brought the energy the concert needed to get everybody like lit. You know what I'm saying? He played some throwbacks, played a little like, songs from like Pop Smoke, played all the right tunes, some Cali vibes, you know what I'm saying, respectfully so, and got everybody hyped. And as Mustard was taking the stage, playing, why as soon as he took the stage and started playing music, downpour. Ponchos came out, everybody was getting wet. I'm like, oh fuck, is this gonna be all night? But I realized at that moment, I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, we here. I don't even care. The music started. I'm so fucking excited. Like nobody cared about the rain. If you cared about the rain, you came out on the wrong day. I'm sorry. Can't let the rain ruin everything, right? But whatever. So he took the stage. He brought the energy, and then I want to say he left around like 7:45 ish. So we're like, okay, Kendrick's about to come out any moment now. It's supposed to start at 8, I guess. One thing I must say about this concert, this tour that I got to witness, is that they were punctual as fuck. Like Mustard came on time. Kendrick literally came on shortly after 8. There's artists that will fucking make you wait until like 9-10 o'clock for them to come out. And the DJ done played already. You just listening to like whatever music the stadium or arena, whoever the fuck you are, happens to play. And I gotta note, this was my first time even going to like a stadium to see one artist. Like Rolling Loud doesn't count because it's multiple artists. But like I've seen Travis in Capital One Arena, but this is the first time going on a stadium. This is my first time even seeing an event in MetLife. Like I haven't seen the Giants yet because they fucking suck. But I was just like, yo, first for everything, and this is the best first way to experience it, right? But yeah, Kendrick comes out shortly after, and he begins it with Whacked Out Morals. And like, guys, when I tell you everything was on point, from the fucking visuals that they had on the screen to the dancers to Kendrick to SZA, everything. So Kendrick kicks off the tour. He performs Whacked Out Morals, a combination of GNX and some of his older work. And I really love that throughout the set they went back and forth with like, here's some of my new shit and here's some of my OG fans will know shit, you know what I'm saying? They did a perfect merge, and then of course bringing it together where they made songs, Kendrick and SZA. Yeah, only what's love in silence. Fuck me and fuck you, and that's the way I like it. Now he kicked it off. He performed Whacked Out Morals. He moved on to perform some other stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, 10 songs in, by the time SZA came out, I was like, girl, my voice is croaking at this point. I'm about to lose my voice tonight. And hey, I ain't even gonna complain about it. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly like I think it was worth it. And I ain't gonna lie, every now and then I've been looking at the Maryland tickets like, should I go? Should I go? But overall, like I would say my highlights for the night was like seeing them so close. Like I said, limited view, get them tickets. They cheaper. And apparently you can be closer than nosebleeds for fucking less. You know what I'm saying? So seeing them so close, I think my favorite performance of the night as far as like song wise was All the Stars. Kendrick and SZA, they had platforms that lifted them up into the air, and then they shined these beams into the sky, almost like, yeah, like like five, six of them, I want to say. I'm like, y'all trying to call it aliens or something? But whatever. And then they also like had everyone put on their lights, and like when you just shined your camera around the freaking stadium, you see all these lights, and it's like, yo, they ain't a fucking empty seat.
Oh, that's why he was scratching.
You know what I'm saying? So sold out night, doing it right. And like that night too, like celebrities popped out. JT popped out, fucking Rowdy Rich popped out to both nights. I was like, why didn't you perform? But whatever. Um, and it was great to see everyone popping out for Kendrick from all walks of life and SZA. I gotta not forget to mention that. But yeah, outside of that, All the Stars was another highlight that for sure. And then hearing the stadium during Not Like Us, y'all, goosebumps even just thinking about it again. Like, people, when I say this to y'all, like there were people there that were clearly just SZA fans, and there were people that were clearly just Kendrick fans. But when Not Like Us came on, everybody was a fucking Kendrick fan, even the little kids that came there for SZA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like we done broke the volume meter with how crazy everybody was going. All right. And it was so good that like Kendrick was like, yo, I think this might be Kendrick and SZA was like, I think this might be the best stop night one at MetLife.
Is this the one? Is this the city?
So good that they gave y'all an after party for night two. All right. That was off the strength of us. I don't know if they had it planned already, but whatever. Now that was that. Not Like Us, hearing it finally in person, I would do anything to hear it again. Not anything, but I would love to like go in person and hear him perform that again. But another highlight too is that I feel like they both had amazing stage presence. Kendrick and SZA, they walked every single freaking part of that stage. It was a pretty big stage, and I felt like we got to see them a lot of times on our end. Like I said, we were to the far left. Um, so they came over to us a lot. They went over to the other end. Like they walked the stage. And you know what it is to like walk the stage, dance across the stage, and perform? Like, you know, I will say this, Kendrick, you don't there's no backtrack. And like SZA did have backtrack, and I feel like you were able to tell the difference, and not in a bad way. Like SZA singing and dancing and doing a lot more movements than I will say Kendrick is doing. He's not doing like a lot of choreography. He is giving it all, his all, but SZA's, dropping herself on the floor, flipping her hair, doing a lot of other stuff that like there are times where you can hear where, all right, she probably let the backtrack fill that part in, right? But Kendrick himself, no backtrack, remembering them damn bars, them evil ass bars, and, being able to just provide a great concert, like that is not underappreciated. I feel like there's not a lot of people that can do that. I mean, look at Playboy Cardi and opening night with The Weeknd. He couldn't even remember his own lyrics for music. 30 fucking songs on there. I wonder why. But, you know, I digress on him. These two, I wouldn't think to have originally put them together, but after seeing them together, I'm like, why the fuck not? Like, obviously they have songs together, but like the way they were able to just feed off of one another's energy, I feel like it's not always seen when you see two people headline a tour, or even like when somebody has like an opening act for them. Like they really were like a dynamic duo.
Let's go. If it was up to me, I'll never give these nobodies no sympathy. I take away the pain, I'll give you everything.
And like, if y'all have the opportunity to go and you're a fan of either one or both, go. And for anyone that might just be a Kendrick fan or a SZA fan and that's considering going or already got their tickets, I think if you do yourself a favor and like listen to both of them, you will have an even better time when you go to the concert. That's all I'll say. But yeah, really just like speechless experience. Like I also Kendrick, another highlight I have to mention about the concert is that that was the night that SZA performed Consideration, and she didn't perform Consideration in years. Like we were treated right night one and night two, of course, but like night one, MetLife Grand National Tour was fucking awesome. I want to see y'all again. Thank you both. If y'all ever listen to me, I don't know. But for those of y'all listening, like A1 experience. Like go see your favorite artist. Doesn't have to be Kendrick and SZA. Go whoever you enjoy listening to, go see them. It's worth it. Now, to get into the music that I have to review for y'all, I did want to mention actually some songs on repeat, just a sprinkle of that in. I know I said I wasn't going deep into the news, but I did want to mention some songs on repeat. Now, last time I did a review, I was talking about Davido's album 5. There are some songs on there that I've still been listening to, Tech Off of Me, Lover Boy, and more. If you haven't checked out that project and you're a fan of Afro beats, check it out. And then two remixes that I've been listening to on repeat. Egypt remix with Doechii. Egypt was a song on West Side Gun's EP. That was actually one of the songs that I really liked on there. And he had Doechii as the clip in the beginning, speaking about how West Side Gun and MF Doom are some of her favorite artists. And it was only right that she hopped on a remix. And then she also hopped on a remix for Timeless. So she's just been grinding too. People speculate that she might be on the GNX Deluxe, which I would absolutely love that. I think it's only right that TDE, has Kendrick partner up has Doechii partner up with Kendrick. Now, I didn't mention like the Met Gala controversy about her fit and the umbrella, right? But outside of that, these two songs she did deliver bars. All right, I can't even hate. I mean, I was never hating on Doechii, but I feel like the haters, every time she does something good, they get mad, right? Like these two songs. Like, for example, we got little Aiden Ross, Drake's left nut, out here calling Doechii entitled and an unintelligent piece of shit. Like, okay, you can disagree with her actions, right? You can disagree with how she handled herself at the Met Gala as far as the umbrella, right? But to sit here and call her unintelligent and a piece of shit. I feel like that was really coded, really racially coded, and like we already know who he supports. He had the orange man on his stream, and I do feel as though he's getting real comfortable. And a lot of people notice that too. So, like I said, one thing to disagree with her actions and call her out specifically on that, but then to call her unintelligent and like say that she has zero talent, I feel like he took it too far. That's my opinion. Whatever, right? So yeah, outside of that, that's what's on repeat. The Veto, Egypt, Timeless, and then I also wanted to shout out this new project that dropped that I'm not reviewing on this episode, but I do want to shout it out because Key Glock has been delivering in the last few years, and he dropped this album called Glockavelli, and Key Glock has been honestly just carrying the torch after Young Dolph RP passed, and I do think some people slept on his last project, Glaucoma 2. That shit was such a banger for me. Like I absolutely love that project, right? I was like, this needs to get some accolades. Like this AOTY, no? Like y'all not fucking with it? But sometimes there's things like I said, don't let the numbers decide for you. There's things that even if they don't give it that big award, Grammy, whatever the case is, if you vibing with it, you vibing with it. And that's how I feel about Glaucoma 2. And then this new project, Glockavelli, I was really excited to listen to. While I didn't review this project, yeah, I do want y'all to check out Obi's review. Obi Trice Kenobi underscore reviews did a review of this project. Honestly, that's one of my favorite review pages. He posts daily reviews of different albums, whether they're throwback albums or recently dropped ones. So check out Obi Trice Kenobi's review of this Key Glockavelli. I feel like he was fair and honest of his, you know, of review of this project, and pretty much gives a very thorough deep dive of it. So check out his page and get that daily scoop of different projects that he's checking out. But yeah, Key Glock deserves to be talked about. All right, he deserves to be listened to, and I will be doing so, and I hope y'all do too. Now, for the actual album reviews, like I said, I told y'all I had three. I'm doing one for Ding Dong. His new album's called From Ding Dong to the World. And then I have one for Coco Jones called Why Not More. Her debut album's called Why Not More. And then last but not least, Lefty Gunplay and Jason Martin, which is the producer on this new project from Lefty called Can't Get Right. Y'all know the deal, but just in case you forgot, as I'm reviewing the albums, I usually like to listen to it multiple times, and I'm looking into the creativity, the versatility, the features, if there are any, and just the impact of the album too, and just measuring the bars there as well. Like, hey, are they really hitting? Are they really giving the vibe? You know what I'm saying? So those are different things I'm looking at. I'm rating each song 1 to 3 fire signs, and then at the end I'll give the album a number out of 10, and then a letter grade to go with that, right? So now I'm gonna tap into that Ding Dong album. Ding Dong is a dancehall artist. If you're not familiar with him, yes, the name is hilarious, but that's been his name, right? Ding Dong. He dropped an album From Ding Dong to the World Ding. It's 13 songs, 42 minutes, and he kicks it off with kind of like a, prayer and a way to like thank God, tapping into his faith a little bit. It is a dancehall album, but it was just his way to just start on a peaceful, calming note and just bring in the good energy, right? So he's like giving thanks and praise. He's asking to have him protected from wicked and people that try to cast doubt on what he's doing. And he's also like he has Vanessa Bling on the chorus, and she's like, give you all the glory, keep my holy. And then he also talks about how friends switch up on him like it's a crime, and how despite all of that, he's grateful and thankful. This I gave this 2 out of 3. And now we move on to track 2 called Dancer Boy. So on here, it's like a b-boy type beat, and he's like, kind of talking to his ops, like, yo, you a little dancer boy, you ain't nothing, you just be moving around, you ain't gonna do nothing to me but dance around me. He's like, he's gonna, this person just be lighting up and chatting, but his career isn't built on beef. You know what I'm saying? It felt like a rap dance hall fusion. And I do feel as though, like I said, that beat was giving b-boy. So I was like, hmm. So from here, I was like, okay, is this like the vibe? It's kind of sounding a little Americanized as far as like the beat, but I digress. So then for this one, I gave it 1 out of 3. Like I said, I wasn't sure about the vibe. It felt like it was trying to give like an Americanized vibe, and like that scares me whenever Caribbean dancehall artists like kind of try to water down their authentic Caribbean vibes. So I was like, okay, where are we going with these beats? Where are we going with the sound? Is it gonna blend together with your sound and these kind of beats? I don't know. Now, that was a 1 out of 3, like I said. Now we move on to track 3, Who She Chooses. This one has 2 features on here. It has Stock Ashley and Govana. Govana's another top artist, and Stalk Ashley. Sounds like she was speaking a little Spanish on the track. She was pretty much singing the chorus on here. She's like, pretty much the song's called Who She Choose. And on here, she's like, who's she gonna choose? Now, I feel like when it came to Govana's verse, it was nothing like too. It was nothing crazy for me, which is why I feel like I rated this song as well 1 out of 3. It just didn't like I feel like with dance hall, it should give you that I want to go out and dance vibe. You know what I'm saying? Dance hall. You know what I'm saying? Want to go dance in the hall. It was not giving that. It was not giving that. So I gave this 1 out of 3. I feel like it was an okay song. And then we hop into track 4. It's called Street Jump. Street Jump has Skang, another top artist, up and coming out of Jamaica. And then this dude named Kaka High Flames. Never heard of him before. Interesting name, but on this track 4, Street Jump, he actually samples Chris Cross's song Jump. So another Americanized vibe being intertwined into this album. And it's like Ding Dong's version of Jump Jump. You know what I'm saying? Skeng's Park was okay. I think honestly Kaka had the best verse on this song. But even with that being said, this was another 1 out of 3 for me. And I think the disconnect is the Americanized vibe. Like, okay, yes, you can sample Jump, but make sure you bring in that element that makes it dance hall. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like a dance hall head, or you fuck with dance hall, or even if you fuck with hip hop, go listen to that and let me know what you think of it. You know what I'm saying? But now we move on to track 5. This one is called Pow. It's like, get boom, pow, pow. I feel like he was having fun on here and talking like, yo, this is how I'm gonna treat my ops kind of thing. This one was another 1 out of 3. Um, I feel like I'm like, yo, at this point, I'm like, all right, bro, the best song so far on track 5. We have 13 songs in total, right? The best song so far was the first one, which was Glory with Vanessa Bling, which was more of a faith based kind of song, and I ain't mad at it, but it was just giving snooze fest after that so far. When I say the faith based song, it's snoozy, but but whatever. We hop into track 6 called Old School slash New School. This is what I was looking for throughout the fucking album. This is the vibes I needed throughout the whole thing. Ding dong. It's called Old School, New School. And on this one, he off rip, I was fucking with the beat. So I was like, all right, this is what we need. He used the beat that Shaggy uses on Hey Sexy Lady. Hey Sexy Lady. If you don't know that, search it up. Shaggy is usually, I feel like a lot of people that may not necessarily be Caribbean are familiar with Shaggy because he has some hits that did make it into the American market. But anyways, the beat was sampled from Hey Sexy Lady. He also, I feel like Ding Dong also sprinkled in some like elements of like Elephant Man and Beanie Man swag. Those are another two Caribbean dancehall artists. If y'all aren't familiar with them, they were running the game when I was a kid and still pretty much have hits that are timeless to this day. But Elephant Man, especially, is another artist that makes a lot of like tunes that always has a dance to go with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that is the type of artist that Ding Dong usually is. He's trying to craft a song that will get you could make a dance routine to, for the Caribbean people. But anyways, this was getting into it. It was giving that true ding dong dancing style. And that's exactly why I gave this song 3 out of 3. It was absolutely fire to me. And I was like, okay, if he can keep this up and have the rest of the songs have this kind of vibe, I think he'll do well, right? No, sorry, I was looking at the game real quick because it's halftime and the Knicks in Boston are tied 59-59. But whatever. So now we're gonna hop into track 7. Track 7 is called Step with another feature on here. It's called Afro B. The beat was really nice in my opinion. Then I feel like he walked back into the Americanized, you know, beat vibe trap. All right. It felt like it. It felt like it. As far as like even like the lyrics too, like he's like, we're talking about Gucci, Louis, Fendi, like I don't know, like it just didn't sound authentic to him. And I feel like it had the potential to hit harder because the beat, it curated like a nice slow vibe. And I feel like the beat should have focused more on like maybe the ladies. Maybe this should be a song for the ladies, like like gal tune versus like how you stepping outside in Gucci, Louis, all this damn shit that we don't care about, right? The beats delivered a different vibe than the lyrics, and I was like back and forth between it being a 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. I did give it a 2 out of 3 because it was better than the other songs that I felt like were kind of like watered down. But to move on to track 8, WYFT featuring Buster Rhymes and Popeye Caution. This one was given like a club type beat, but Busta Rhymes always gonna have bars, so he hopped on here, and I feel like he was the reason why the song did pretty good in my opinion. And so the WYFT stands for where you find this on the song. They're like, ding dong, where you find this? And I feel like it was giving a nice vibe. I'm like, okay, okay. Even though it was like a club type beat, I feel like it was still it gave that great merge of like dance hall and a touch of like the Americanization. You know what I'm saying? A little touch, not too much. This was a 2 out of 3 though. Now we get into track 9, the latter part of the album. We have another song. It's called Vent, and this one he's like, Vent. So it's a little bit more in the, I guess, supposed to be a sad vibe, and he's like how he blames himself and that like the woman left with a piece of his heart, and that he's a bad man, he can't change. His daddy was a gallus, and the gallus pretty much means player. His daddy was a player, so he grew up that way. And even though he was the bad guy, he's like, how can you leave him? Of course, nigga shit. Like, but this was a 1 out of 3. Despite the storytelling, it was a 1 out of 3. I was just, I guess, I was just like underwhelmed by the delivery of some of the songs. So it became harder and harder for me to give certain things a higher rating. But we're gonna hop into track 10, the new pull up. So like I said, Ding Dong's most famous song is Batman Forward, Batman Pull Up. So the new pull up is with Skelly Bang, the new pull up. And this is what I was looking for. This is what like the other song, this is another example of what I was looking for. It starts with the Batman Forward intro to pay homage to like that song that went crazy for him. And Skelly Bang, if y'all don't know him, he's famous for coming in with like the gun type of sound, like the I can't even do it. I'm not even gonna attempt to. You know how Everybody got their signature sound. He got it, and can't do it. So whatever. I gave this song 3 stars off rare. As soon as Skelly came in with the BRRRR, can't do it. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he came in like that, I was like, oh, it's about to go up. And Ding Dong, also added a new verse to the song. So I do appreciate if you're gonna make a remix or a remake of the song, don't just give the same lyrics. Like make sure you add an extra new verse in there as well for us. I think that was great. So I gave it 3 out of 3. Now, the last 3 songs in the album, I'll tell y'all right now, they were not great. They were all 1 out of 3s, and I wanted to give it 0. Next song's called Work, and then he's like, pull up to the office for the work. I feel like this was for the ladies, but it was Snoozeville. It was Snooze. And then track 12 is called Skate with Bravo Ravers. I literally wrote sigh under my notes. I was just like, what is this? What is this? Like, when you really trying to listen to something, you start like glossing over and you're like, fuck, like I gotta listen to this again. I did that because I wanted to make sure I gave it the fair chance. And it was just like, I hate that this is so hard to get through. But thankfully, we're at the end. Like I said, these last 3 were 1 out of 3. So then the last song is called Baby Them. And then they had like a baby crying on the song, which I feel like they overused it. And then pretty much the theme of it was like man a ball like a baby, like the guy is crying like a baby. It was ass. It was not it. It was not it. And I hate to like speak like this on someone's craft, but I'm gonna be honest. If something's not good, it's not good. I'm gonna be honest. Always, the beats were overly Americanized. He was trying to give a Jamaican twist, and while like dancehall artists tend to really excel with remixing and giving things their twist, this was mid. This was not his greatest attempt. Maybe he needed to have better collaborations, but I think he needed to really tap back into the true reason why Ding Dong got famous, right? So the best feature is the new pull up with Skelly Bang, and then I would say a Keep It song, but all the songs I get 1 out of 3, goddamn, they're the whole fucking album. Not gonna lie, the best song on here was the Old School New School. If he did more of that, this album would have scored higher for sure. If he did more of the new pull up and old school, new school song, this would have scored higher. But as far as my top 3, it was the old school slash new school as number 1, the new pull up featuring Skelly Bang, and then WYFT, Where You Find This, featuring Busta Rhymes and Popeye Caution. Those are literally the 2 songs with great features, and then 1 solo song that he did good on. But my overall rating of this was a D. It was a 5 out of 10. I mean, damn near an F. I don't know. It wasn't it, but you know, I I ain't got too much more to say about that. It is what it is. That he gave it his best shot. All right. Those songs I will listen to again, but not the rest of it. And maybe y'all will have a different opinion. I will always encourage y'all to go form your own opinion and listen for yourself. Start with those 3 songs though, so you save yourself like the disappointment, because I don't want y'all to say I referred you to listen to bad music, especially if you might be tapping into the dancehall genre for the first time. I want to make sure y'all give it a fair shot because I understand we all from different places, and that's very much okay. All right, don't quote me, but if you do, make sure you at me. All right. So whatever. Now we gonna go into some R&B vibes. Coco Jones dropped Why Not More, and she actually did drop an extended version, which is I did all of them. I listened to all 17 songs. It's right under an hour, 51 minutes. And listen, if you're not familiar with Coco Jones, she was a Disney star, so she's pretty much a Disney princess turned into an R&B star. She was on Good Luck Charlie, Let It Shine, and many other shows and movies. This is her debut album, and honestly, I think it's something that if you love R&B, this is something that you should not miss. Please play it. She deserves the credit. She deserves to shine. She's been dropping like music here and there, but this project, I feel like it was a great rollout, and she executed well. So the rollout for this, I did mention on Instagram. The marketing was on point like ASAP ready. Hey, all right, whatever. So the rollout for this, she actually had herself in the video. Just in case you didn't see that, she's on in this video on the phone talking to her homegirl, and as she's talking to her homegirl, there's a mirror in front of her, and she's pretty much venting to her homegirl like, "Oh, my man ain't shit." And as she's talking about this, man that ain't shit, different song titles are popping up in the mirror in front of her. So I felt like that was pretty cool, and now we got the project to go along with it. Now the project, like I said, 17 songs. She kicks it off with "Keep It Quiet," and I will say a few of these songs were dropped prior to the actual album dropping, so we did get a taste of that. That's actually one of the name of the songs, but whatever. Keep It Quiet. In here, she's like, hurt people, and she wants to love you. And honestly, I love the beat. You know, when the beat got you making that mean face like that, eyebrows scrunch up. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm like, okay, okay, R&B Coco. But it was a solid intro song, and like, she's like, don't make a good girl get violent. She's like, I could pop my shit too. She got a big ego, and I'm like, okay, okay, keep it quiet. Okay, Disney princess. I feel like she was very adamant about like, I ain't no Disney princess no more. I'm a motherfucking grown ass woman, and I'm here to talk to y'all about some shit. And this is not for the kids, all right? But this was a 3 out of 3, a great intro song. I was like, thank God I got something good after that fucking album that I just listened to, right? So now we move into track 2. Track 2 is called Taste, and this song, honestly, it did exactly what it was supposed to. It continued the vibes from the intro song. This was actually a sample of Britney Spears' song Toxic. Britney cleared the motherfucking sampled, and Coco gave a great twist to this song. I love when an artist takes a song, and even if they sample it, they're able to make it their own, and that's exactly what she did here. um she curated a new vibe, and I I listened to that on repeat. Like, as soon as I heard that, I had to listen to it again. I gave that a 3 out of 3. Now we're moving to track 3. It's called On Site. And she's like, come and show her what you mean is on site. When she see her boo, she gonna, put it on her man better than any other, any of the other bitches. And I'm like, oh, Coco, you cursing? That's why I couldn't even get it out. Cause I'm like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, but she really showed her range though with the chorus of this song. She was like, okay, let me warm them up to the range that I'm about to show them throughout the rest of this album. Now, this song, really great song. I gave it a 2 out of 3. It was a good song, and I think it has the potential to grow on me. But now we hop into track 4. It's titled AEOMG. And at first I was like, what does that mean? And I was wondering what these damn acronyms mean. Once you start listening to the song, they tell you. So on this song, she's like, she's being a little vulgar, not like explicit, but just, descriptive, metaphoric. And she's like, she's using all the vowels with her legs up in the ceiling. A E, oh my God, that's what the OMG stands for. AEOMG, that's what it stands for, right? So I thought it was very clever. Once, she's building up the story and she says that, I'm like, oh, okay, you a little clever, freaky, huh? Whatever. This was a 2 out of 3. And then we hop into track 5. It's called Thang for You. Now she's like, I'm ready to break the rules for you on this. Don't have her looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, she's scared to give it her all, but she has to try. And that she really wants her boo. This was a 2 out of 3 for me. And then we hop into track 6 called Here We Go. Uh-oh. Now, Here We Go. There's a sample on here. So she's on the song like, shit, here we go. Pretty much when she see that name pop up on her phone, she already know what's up. She wants to love another person. She wants to love herself, but it's hard. She wants to have her way. She don't want to have your way no more. That's why it's like when she sees her partner's name or whoever name that dude's name pop up on her phone, she's like, I don't know. What am I about to get myself into? Uh-oh, here we go. And then we hop into track 7. It's called Other Side of Love. And she's like how she can't get enough and she just can't give up though. But she'll do it all again. She'll do everything again, even if it hurts. She's ready to fight for her person's love. And within this song, this was when she really, really taps into showing her range and just belting out these lyrics, and this song was a 2 out of 3 for me. So then we hop into track 8. Why not more with YG Marley? Now, YG Marley for me, I feel like sometimes his sound can sound a little Americanized in my opinion. So sometimes he's a hit or a miss when he hops on certain things. But this song was supposed to be like a R&B reggae blend, and in my opinion I feel like it could have been better. Me trying to be unbiased to YG Marley, but I do feel as though it could have been better blend of the two, but I think it was a fair shot. But I gave it a 1 out of 3 with that being said. And then we hop into track 9. It's called Hit You Where It Hurts. This one ops hit you where it hurts. She gonna do the same thing that you do to her. You wanna be grimy, you wanna treat her messed up way. When she do it back to you, it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna hurt 10 times more. And she's like, oh, I could get lower than low. And mind you, she's singing this to you. It's like, damn, you gonna sing to me so nicely and tell me that you gonna do me dirty. Crazy. This was a 2 out of 3 for me. Now we hop into track 10. This is where she has another feature. So London on the Track actually produced this. It's called Most Beautiful Design and produced by London on the Track, and Future is featured on this. And I was fucking with that. But he's on the song like, oh, you make me feel like every day I got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And how you got the most beautiful design. And Coco Jones comes in to the latter part of the song and pretty much gasses it up too. This song though, it was okay. I feel like yes, Future does make some R&B when he's in that mode, but it wasn't like his best attempt. So Coco Jones herself, she did good throughout the album. She did great here, but I feel like this was a 2 out of 3, mainly because of like I feel like Future didn't really deliver as best as he could here. Now we hop into track 11, You. This was a song that I believe actually dropped prior, so already on my radar. This was a 3 out of 3. Absolutely loved it. I feel like she picked back up that energy I needed. So between Here We Go, which was track 6, and 11, the songs were mostly like 2 out of 3, and this is where I got another 3 out of 3 out of me. Now we move on to track 12. It's called Nobody Exists, and she's pretty much like when she's with her person, there's nobody else in the room, nobody else in the world. Like nobody exists but you. No one else exists but you. This was a nice song, but it was okay. It wasn't really like given like the other songs were. Like it didn't make me want to sing out loud and sound crazy in the city. So this was a 1 out of 3. And then we have track 13, By Myself. Now we're getting into the last few songs of this album. On here, she's like, the story has two sides. She wants to learn to be comfortable by herself, and she knows she needs to learn to be by herself, but she feels so codependent. And, with that being said, I feel like it was like a 2 out of 3. I feel like she did a good job of just like telling different stories throughout the album. And this was one. Now, track 14 is called Forever Don't Hit Like Before. Exactly what the title say. It's not hitting like before. It's burnt out. They feel burnt out. She's like, words are gonna let her down if she believes in what he says to her, and like forever ain't shit at this point. It's not worth it. I feel like it was giving more of that sad end. I feel like in the beginning it was very much like, oh, I want you, I yearn for you. Now it's like, oh, you ain't shit, and it's not even hitting. Like, it said your love is not hitting like it was, and the words don't trick me like they do before, right? So this was a 2 out of 3, and then we hop into track 15. It's called "Is It Mine." This she has a feature by Lady London, and Lady London is actually a really great rapper. I feel like I really love her cadence, and I was excited to see her as a feature on here. Her verse was really calm, like she delivered, and the beat was fun. Um, on the beat, Coco singing like "Mine" in the background as Lady London's rapping, and as she's singing too over herself. So this song was when I feel like the vibes were picked up a little bit more. So 3 out of 3 here, and then another song that was a 3 out of 3. The next one's called "Control Freak," track 16, and honestly, throughout the album, Coco had some really great beats. Like, I know she had London on the track as one of the producers and some other producers, but they were delivering, and she chose really great beats to go on this album. I feel like they added to the story. And, I feel like she really hooks you in quick. Like, when you hear that beat, you're already like, oh, damn. And then she starts singing. It's like, ooh, okay, I'm fucking with that. And that's how I felt with Control Freak. She was like on this song, like, why would she check for you if you don't check for her? And she needs her dude begging for her, you know what I'm saying? She needs just a little bit of control with the freak inside of her dude, whatever the case is. That's what she wants. It was a little rated R. I'm like, okay, Coco. Like I said, she's trying to shed the Disney like theme, the Disney image that people were trying to keep her boxed into. So when she decides to drop this album and make these songs, she had to give a little bit of the reason why, you know what I'm saying? But this was a 3 out of 3 for me. And then we hop into track 17. So track 17 is actually just a live version of Taste, which was a song that I told you. It was a remake of Britney Spears' Toxic. So Taste, it she went on the Terrell show and she performed it live. And honestly, once I heard the live version, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need to go see her perform. She's actually on tour right now. She's gonna be nearby soon. So I'm like, yo, I might just have to grab those last minute tickets and hear her sing for real, because I was not disappointed with this album at all. Like I said, after listening to Ding Dong going into this was actually the order I listened to the albums in. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking good." Like so I was not disappointed. It gave what it was supposed to give. I feel like the album was like a beautiful debut for Coco Jones. She delivered well on the theme. I feel like it was like the conflicting moments of love, the feelings of lust, especially like in the beginning, a lot of lust, and like, how she's yearning for that person and will do whatever and falling madly in love, and then realizes, oh, you ain't shit. It's just sweet nothings you saying to me. Like, ain't nothing going on. And I need to choose me. And despite that, she's willing to risk it all. And just like the internal battle of like, oh, I don't know if I should keep you around. But the best feature on here was "Is It Mine" with Lady London. I enjoyed that more than the Most Beautiful Design song with Future. And then a song that she could potentially keep in the vault would be the "Why Not More" with YG Marley. Sorry, Not Sorry. Best song? I've been having a hard time choosing between Taste or Here We Go. I feel like I'm leaning towards Taste. So with that being said, my top five, number one would be Taste. Then it's Here We Go. Number three would be You. Four, Keep It Quiet. And five, Control Freak. Honorable mention would be the AEOMG song, because it was really playful how she did that. But my overall rating of this album was a A minus. I feel like I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I feel like I was between 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It was like a B plus A minus, but I'm like, she deserves the A. She deserves the A. It's a debut album, and like literally, I can't wait to replay it. And I want to see her in person because of it. Even that sample of what the live version will sound like, even though it's not live, but it's a live recording. I was like, okay, this girl can sing for real. I need to go see her. But yeah, Coco Jones. If you love R&B, I think you should definitely check out this album. It's worth listening to. All right, last but not least, I will be reviewing Lefty Gunplay's album. He dropped with Jason Martin. Jason Martin is a producer. He was formerly known as Problem, and he's actually worked with a few different people from E40, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick, freaking Childish Gambino, Jim Jones. He's been a ghostwriter. He's worked with Chris Brown, so many people. So Lefty being able to partner up with him was really a great thing to see. I mean, they've been working closely together on this project. They have 15 songs. It's a 30-minute listen, 33 minutes to be exact, and it's called Can't Get Right. Now, Lefty Gunplay, he was featured on GNX Kendrick's album. Lefty Gunplay was on TV Off, and he literally, since he was featured on TV Off on GNX, he's just been capitalizing off that moment. In fact, I didn't realize that the same day that GNX dropped, he actually had dropped an album back then too. Say back then like it's so long ago, but like he had dropped an album back in November called Most Valuable Gangbanger. And then I guess, with all the Kendrick noise, it kind of got overshadowed, but at least his verse, at least the song TV Off was getting recognition. And then Kendrick closed Super Bowl with that. So a lot of people were like paying attention to who Lefty Gunplay is after those moments, right? So yeah, artists like him, as Chike, Hitta, they all been capitalizing off of being featured on GNX. And I hope that they get to pop out with Kendrick when they stop in California very soon. That's gonna be a fire moment. Now, Dot did give the stamp of approval. He actually like texted him like, "Yo, I can't wait to bump this out here." I think he was in New York at the time too when um Lefty dropped. So I was like, okay, let me go check this out. It's only right. That's why I said I was like, oh, Key Glock or Lefty. And I'm like, okay, let me give Lefty a shot and see what's up because of how excited I was about just like those seeing like those different artists get put on. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to do that. He could have been selfish and been like, I'm gonna do this shit myself, and it was gonna be good regardless. But it was great to see other people be put on. Now, Lefty, he has been in the scene, but mostly underground. He actually is known for like his gritty personality, but he's had a lot of trouble within the law. He actually did a 13 years in LA County Jail. So just, as a kid in and out of jail, went in for a pretty long time. But yeah, with his recent success, he actually sparked bidding wars between some record labels, Alamo and Columbia, and I think Interscope was in the conversation at one point as well. They were all like trying to get him. I think he ended up signing. Well, he's been with OTR Records, but he also this particular album, Can't Get Right, was dropped under them and Empire. So somebody talked right and gave him the money. But unlike Dodie, he doing what he got to do. So now I'm just gonna hop into the songs. Now, track one is called Lord Forgive Me. I feel like this is like the theme, right? With the albums I'm reviewing, it's kind of like that asking for forgiveness kind of intro song. But on here, this song, it starts off with birds tweeting. It starts off on some peaceful vibe. You're like, okay, Lord, forgive me. So it should be on some peaceful vibe, right? Shortly after, it's the birds tweeting is interrupted with freaking automatic weapons going off. I'm like, oh god damn. And he's like, yo, people told him that he wouldn't be the shit, but he's here now. And instantly you hear the Cali swag. He's like, listen to the sound of his heater go off, his heater go bang. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ah shit. Lord, forgive me. Okay, Lord, I know why you asking for forgiveness, because the shit you did in that song with them damn guns. 2 out of 3. Now we go on to track 2. It's called Can't Get Right, which is also the name of the project. And pretty much he talks about, I guess, the meaning behind his name. He's like, yo, why they call you Lefty? He's like, I can't get right. Okay, whatever. Lefty Gunplay. He's been going left. He been playing with guns, shooting shit, which is why he got up in them people's jail for so long. But whatever. on here. The beat is booming. Like the beat was giving West Coast vibe. Honestly, the West Coast has been doing it for me as far as music, and I can't even hate on them. Like this song, I at first I gave it a 2 out of 3, but then when I listened to it again, I was like, nah, it's good, it's good, it's good. It might be worth that three. It might be worth that. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 3, right? So then we hop into track three. It's called Scary Movie, and it's like a sing rap kind of vibe. Otis Edwards III is actually singing on here, and on this song, it's pretty much like how he made it out the streets. That's scary, and like if he drank that drink, it might turn into a scary side, and like there's a cut scene where the person's like, yo, find them busters and shoot them, you know what I'm saying? And then we go back into the rap, and he's like, yo, how he made a mill out the streets and how that's crazy, and just talking about like how the different things make this like a scary movie. The things that he was doing in the streets is a scary movie. The things that he was running away from, if he decides to drink, it's gonna be a scary sight. This was a 3 out of 3. So then we hop into track four, Gangsters Get Scared, with featuring Wally the Sensei and YS. And now pretty much on this song, it's like pretty like the title says, gangsters get scared, and like the whole thing, the chorus is like gangsters get scared sometimes, and like I feel as though this song, though, they missed the mark of describing more moments of when gangsters get scared. Obviously, you don't want to air yourself out there, but just I feel like they could have added a different touch of like the dark moments of like gang banging and like being in the streets. Like I feel like there could have been more from all of them to really add to that narrative. So I gave it a 1 out of 3. But then we hop into track five. It's called Angels of Above, My Angel in parentheses. And there's a singing intro with Amanda Perez, and she pretty much leads the chorus. I enjoyed that part. I honestly feel like her singing carried the song, and it's like her sending like a prayer to him when he was like locked up in LA County jail. I feel like it was giving West Coast I feel like he was giving West Coast Albie Al vibes. If y'all don't know who Albie Al is, he's like an artist out of Jersey, and he kind of like yells when he raps to you, but he be rapping some good shit. So I feel like this was giving that vibe from Lefty, and you know, he kind of, I feel like it's kind of like for the ladies that's dealing with that person locked up, and there's a voicemail at the end, and he was pretty much talking back to the woman, like, I'm pussy whipped so good, I'm gonna listen to you, whatever the case is. But like I said, I feel like the singing really carried. It was a 3 out of 3. Amanda Perez did her thing on there with Lefty, and I feel like it gave a good message about like just like how I'm praying and hoping that you're in good spirits, even though you're going through some shit right now in that damn county jail. Now we hop into track six. It's called Hotel Party, and I feel like this is where he brings the vibes back up a little bit as far as like the tempo is a little more upbeat. And I feel like the beat, I feel like it was like a Spanish type inspired beat with the trumpets over, and I did like this, but I feel like it was okay. It was like it was a good song. It was a 2 out of 3. The vibes and the tempo was there, but it wasn't really like his top song on the album, right? So then we hop into track seven. It's called Menace, and not gonna lie, once I saw the feature on here, I was like, he has the game featured on here, and the game just got in trouble for some really shady shit, and actually had to give up one of his homes to a woman he abused. So that automatically was just like, I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling it. Lefty's verse itself was good. He talked about how he lost his sanity last year, but now he's back and better. Now he's out of jail and trying to do his thing. I feel like the beat was sophisticated, but I wasn't feeling the game. I'll be honest with y'all. If you do shit that's abusive towards anybody, but women specifically, I ain't fucking with you. We gonna hop into track eight. It's called Cracks in the Ceiling. Now, this is uh banger right here. He's like how he gave his girl his blower and how she gave it to some next dude, and how while he's been in the county jail, he's just been counting the cracks in the ceiling, imagining life on the outside as it go by, and thinking of all the things he's missing while he's looking up at these cracks in the ceiling. And he had a bar in here like mood swings got me feeling like I'm Pop Smoke. I love that he did a nod towards the East Coast. But this song here, I feel like it was a 3 out of 3. Just the storytelling about just being locked up, and like you don't really got much to do, but you got time to reflect, and that's what he was doing, reflecting while looking up in the cracks in the ceiling, right? So then we hop into track 9. I feel like he's continuing like his story behind bars, right? It's called Tales from the Shoe. This was actually an interlude, not long at all. And then Jason Martin's on here like, "Yo, bro, what was that song you was singing that while you were locked up in the hole?" Because he I guess he was not doing what he was supposed to in jail, so he did go in the box a few times, and he Lefty's on here like singing like a little tune. So I'm like, okay, we got R&B Lefty on here. It was like I said, it was an interlude. I think it was like shy of a minute long, and just him talking and joking around with the producer. So it was a 3 out of 3. That was like a fun little interlude. Now we're hopping into the mid slash ending of the album. So track 10 is called 1 2 3 4 5 6, featuring RJ Mr. LA. And RJ Mr. LA, he's been working and he's been a feature on some other songs that I've seen, mostly underground. And RJ came in with that energy off rip. He's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 blessings, sections, all of that. And then Lefty comes in like one shot, two shots, four shots, you know what I'm saying? Like him and RJ go back and forth rapping, and he's like how they don't do switches in LA's, they do revolvers. I'm like, oh shit, you better be careful. You catch a hole in your body. But he also references his bar from TV Off. He's like crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so that was a nice like homage to his bars that he did for Kendrick. And then at the end of the song he asks for forgiveness because he wants to be better. This song with RJ and him, it was a 3 out of 3. I really liked it. I feel like Lefty within the middle of this album is doing a great job of just keeping the vibes, keeping the energy up, right? Consistently 3 out of 3 with the last 3 songs that I mentioned to you. And then we hop into track 11. He has a popping feature on here. He has Ty Dolla Sign featured on here for a song called One Day at a Time, and Ty kicks it off. He's like, we just all trying to figure it out. It was a short song, but Ty Dolla Sign did lead most of it. Lefty comes in towards the end, and he's speaking about his dead homies and how he got a bag off of Sony, how he's rocking rollies now, and he's looking up despite the adversary that he's going through. So this was a 2 out of 3 for me. Like I said, it was a short song. Ty Dolla Sign did his thing here. But Ty Dolla Sign, I feel like, can be a stronger singer and like just give more memorable verses with his singing. So I feel like Lefty carried, but that's why I gave it, and that's why I gave it a 2 out of 3. The next song on here is called Grey Goose Freestyle with King Cash and Absibi Chill. I think that's how his name is said. Absibi Chill. And this song, I feel like it was okay. I feel like I expected more since it was considered a freestyle, at least from the other 2 artists on there as well. But I gave it a 2 out of 3. I feel like it was an okay song. But now we hop into track 13. This is where he got right back into picking up the vibe. I feel like it was like, oh, it went down a little bit, and then it was like, okay, we back on track. We back on track. So me, My Gun and You featuring Storm the Barge, track 3. That song was fucking fire. Storm is on here like singing that. Me, My Gun and You. I feel like just singing that, it was like, oh shit, it's like a gangsta bop right here. And then he's on here like She Loves Me Not. Storm is from LA. It was just like two LA artists going back and forth on this vibe. And um in the song you hear like bullets dropping in the background. Fire song, one of my favorites on here, 3 out of 3. The last two songs on here, it's called "It's Time" with Negra, and this was pretty much Lefty speaking on the podcast, and Negra's asking him like, "Yo, like, how you feel being out now, and like, what do you want to be in life, and what motivates you from staying out of trouble? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do?" And Lefty talks about how like his biggest inspirations are his mother and his grandma, and how he wants to take care of them, and he loves his supporters, and how it's really hard to make it out of Baldwin Park, California, where he's from. All odds were stacked against him. He grew up in the hood and became a product of his environment quickly, but now is shedding that skin, trying to become a new person. And although it was more of like an interview, like, you know, talking role in the album, I feel like it was a 3 out of 3, just giving that raw truth and everything. I did enjoy this. And I know he's been struggling staying out of trouble. Earlier this year he actually got arrested in Texas for possession of controlled substance. And like I said, once you kind of grow up in that lifestyle, sometimes it's hard for people to escape it and know when to do the right things and just fully stay clear. But I hope that with that just happened, and he kind of just like continues to stay on the right track. And you know people do have hiccups, but we don't need no more hiccups. Like, they want to see you go up from here, right? So now the last track on here is called track 15. It's called Through the Fire. I feel like the song was a great closer to the album. The beat was magnificent. Like, he's on here like how he's been gang banging since 9. And Jason's advice to him is like, yo, don't ruin it, Left. You gotta hold your own. He sat in jail too many times, and he has to make it now. And Lefty is like how he's never been locked in like this before. And with that being said, it was a 3 out of 3. I feel like he does a great job of reflecting on hard times throughout this entire project, being locked up and now enjoying the fruits of his labor. And he got locked up for shooting up a party. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call him Lefty Gunplay. But I hope he stays out of trouble. And like, it's difficult when you're a product of your environment, but it's not impossible to make it out, right? He can make it out, and he clearly is. He landed some opportunities that's putting him in a better position. And with that being said, the best feature on here was the 1 2 3 4 5 6 song with RJ Mr. LA. Keep It in the Vault. Honestly, I didn't put any as Keep It in the Vault. I feel like all songs added to the vibe of the album that was needed. The best song on here, Me, My Gun, and You with Storm the Barge. And then my top 3 would be Me, My Gun, and You with Storm, 1 2 3 4 5 6 with RJ Mr. LA, and Cracks in the Ceiling. Honorable mentions, I'll say Scary Movie and Angels Above. But yeah, those are my top 3. Overall, I gave this album a B minus. I feel like it was like a 7.5 out of 10. But Lefty Gunplay did great. Coco Jones did great. Ding Dong, I don't know what the hell going on. The Grand National Tour was fucking amazing. Go see it if you can. Shit, I might just have to pop out of Maryland and see that last show. I wish I could go to California, but if you in California, go see it for me. But thank y'all for tuning in to episode 11. Make sure you follow the Culture Decides on everything to stay tuned on the latest and greatest. Make sure you download this episode and subscribe and like if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in. I can't wait to talk to y'all again on the next episode. I always got something coming for y'all. And thank you for supporting. Peace out.